So, what we are doing, what we have been doing, that indicates the title to become a seeker. And it is a journey. We may fall, but we may fall to succeed. That should be attitude. I failed, I would say 100 times, thousands of times. But gradually, slowly, we are able to purify the mind, and we are there. We may succeed today and fall again. Why? Because trillions of impressions are there in our mind, which has a wrong notions, delusion, and they are waiting to be released, purify. That is what is meaning of purification of the mind and the purification of the intellect. We should not get carried away by any blind belief. So it is very important that we should not get carried away by any blind belief. Why? It is very important to me. I want to know who am I. And if you have a blind belief about politicians, that is okay. But to have a blind belief and a wrong notion about ourselves will cause lot of suffering. So that is why we are understanding and practicing how to become a seeker. So again, always remember what is the subject matter. It is who am I? Why I want to know who am I? Because I am suffering. Because I am suffering. So once I find out this I-ness has no way to get rid of the suffering, then at least, we are happy. Okay, suffering, let me continue. But if I discover that that real I never suffers, if I discover, so our subject matter should be very clear all the time, 24 by 7. Honey said me something, and then I start suffering. Some stranger said something, I start suffering. I broke my phone, I start suffering. So it is the I. So subject matter should be very clear that who is suffering. If that I in me has no way to get rid of this suffering, at least, we'll be happy. There is no way. And if we find the real self, that is what our masters are saying of permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom, then we are done. So the term is used in our tradition is awakening to my real nature. So, and what is the goal? After knowing who am I, end of suffering. And who is seeking? A seeker. I must transition from a person to be a seeker to bring an end to the suffering. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Where? How? From whom? Simple knowledge from the Eastern wisdom, personalized by the teacher. Now, there is another point. Here we should always remember that we follow the entire journey. I do not know, let me know it. So, this process is known as Shravanam in Sanskrit. Now, see the application of this. I don't know, let me know it. So, keep in your mind, the seeker keeps in the mind the moment the seeker is frustrated, he reminds or she reminds herself or himself, oh, I got upset because I don't know. Don't start blaming anyone. See, the attitude will change in our day to day life. You see, just see that. Never get frustrated when your mind says, I am upset, I am frustrated, I have an anxiety. Start knowing what went wrong. Did you understand? So that is why we are continuing learning these principles. The time will come, the mind is pure, it receives this teaching of our great masters without any doubt. That is the second step. I do not understand, let me understand. So we started, say, for example, I am frustrated. So I want to know why I am frustrated. Then I start understanding it. Then I realize that all these frustration, upset, anxiety, reaction, suffering enters in my life only because of a wrong notion, delusion. So we lay extreme stress on clarity, understanding our daily life, and followed by practice. Now I don't experience, I have understood. So again, I do not allow the mind to go back to the same. You see that I have understood, I have attended many of your sessions, nothing has happened. Nothing will happen. Why anything will happen? Unless you take the step. Because it is you who wants to know who you are. So it means I understand clearly through the intellect. I'm frustrated, let me know it. Why I'm frustrated, let me inquire and understand it. And you will find the cause of frustration, upset, anxiety, reaction, anger, hesitation, blame, complaint is because of the mind is impure. What is the meaning of mind is impure? The mind is attached to something outside. And that attachment has an expectation and a desire that you should give me happiness, whether it is a person, thing, event. Oh, you did not wish me on my birthday, and now I'm upset unnecessarily. So, okay, let me wish you your birthday. You should live for 300 years, and the next day you die. Don't get upset. That is our nature, not to get upset. We can have that attitude in our life. No, no, I don't feel the change. Practice. Find the time to practice, and you will see the tremendous change in your life. So we should always remember, I do not know, let me know it, with reference to the mind that is causing the trouble. And I do not understand, let me understand it. Mind, why nobody wishes you on your birthday? Why you are crazy? You see that? Small things, little things makes our life very crazy. So I don't change. So I have to continue the journey in order to know what causes me not to change my life. You see, the entire reasoning, the rational interpretation, freedom from the blind belief, wrong notions, don't we are living in totally a different level. So what happens? It is not should not be a point of ego. What happens is seeker starts living above the society. The society lives at the unconscious level, habitual. instinctive. How are you? I am fine, thank you. No? Society, habitual and unconscious level. But because your level of awareness goes up, so you take the things, whatever is coming, with clarity. Somebody is upset over you. Say, calm down. Let me know why you are upset. But sometimes people are not ready to listen. Calm. No need. So we are coming to the sixth treasure in the fourfold practices. We have understood discernment, dispassion, and then the desire for freedom. So make it remember like 3D or DQ. Desire, huh? Desire for freedom only happens in the mind of a seeker. So there are two types of desire. One is desire for something outside, and here is a desire for freedom, 3D. And then we have six treasures. We have covered five. So what are those? Sama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha. The last week we covered faith, belief, pending inquiry. And the last one is Samadhan that we are going to take up today. But before that, we should understand that I stressed on that. I have understood it clearly. So then you are a seeker. Now apply that in your life. So when you apply that in your life, in your action, action is karma. So when you apply all these principles in your daily life, the karma becomes karma yoga. My friend, Lara, that is the real nature of the karma yoga. I apply that in my all my life. From moment to moment, in relationship, in profession, huh? Whether I go to mall or I talk to my kids, anywhere. So you see that every action I need to become aware. So it means I think before I speak. All those principle comes. So what happens when you are doing karma yoga? There is a subtle change that takes place in our mind and intellect. We feel consciously connected to the entire world, existence. And that leads to bhakti yoga. We will talk about that. Bhakti yoga means the yoga of love. Yoga of love. Yes, one more point as we go ahead, that once we are a seeker, our masters, majority of the masters, they talk about there are 9 topics to be covered. That leads to freedom and that leads to awakening. I would say in Yoga Sutra, there are 12 different topics are covered in 195 Sutra. Different topics that helps the mind and the intellect, leads to awakening and realization of the real nature. So definitely we are going to start with that after a few weeks. Now comes Samadhanam. The word is Samadhan, Sanskrit word. It means samadhi, it means one-pointedness. And it also means solution. See the beauty of the word. There are 3 meanings. Samadhanam kim. So chitta ekagrata. It means one-pointedness. It means samadhi, the highest state of meditation. The mind starts having a glimpse of that, what exactly it is. And the third is solution. Solution of what? Solution of the problems. Delusion, wrong notion, being upset, etc., etc., long list. 3 meanings. Don't you find the change in your life in these few months when you have started understanding all these principles? So you see that that is also the meaning of the, oh yes, I'm able to solve. Why? Solution is waiting for the seeker after the seeker followed all the steps of these practices. Now understand what is this one-pointedness is the result of all the practices to become a seeker. It is not one-pointed is not a concentration of modern psychology. In modern psychology, we say oscillation of attention and focus, or simply the attention. They talk about the two things with reference to the thoughts and feeling and emotions. What we are saying in Eastern wisdom, when you have done sama, dhamma, all the five treasures, follow, preceded by discernment and dispassion. So what happens? The mind constantly is aware that no, let me maintain my awareness on who am I. So what happens to the mind? Now the mind that was running outside in millions of directions stops running. What is the result? One-pointedness. So our one-pointedness is the result of the previous steps. So normally what happens, you are not a seeker and you are attending the session and I use the word one-pointedness, you say, oh, I have to focus. So how you share your experiences, I'm not able to focus. See that? See the connection. So it is not an attention opposite of oscillation of attention of modern psychology. You are calm, there is a sensory control, you are beyond the likes and dislikes, there is a level of endurance which is developed in your mind, there is a faith that brings your life become very casual and natural in day to day. Even if you have a lot of challenges, challenges are there, so I have to find a solution. So the mind and intellect is clear. Look at it, think of it. If you do not think, nothing will happen. I told you that the live session means teacher, knowledge in the seeker. But second step, I do not understand. Let me understand, then close your eyes, focus on these principles, contemplate, ask the questions. What happens? The knowledge and the seeker mind is together. So what will happen? It will give a clarity and understanding. And you say, why mind you are running everywhere? You have been running days after days, weeks after weeks, and nothing happened. Now is the time to stop it. So you are educating the mind consciously, not by force, not by suppression, not by control, but by discernment and dispassion. Think of it. Samadhanam has three meanings: one-pointedness, solution, and the higher state of meditation. Now that mind is always ready for meditation. Anywhere, everywhere. In any condition, in all conditions. In any relationship, in all relationships. So that mind is full of joy. This is explained by the Patanjali in possibly 22 or 22nd sutras of first chapter. Ishwar Pranidhana. Those people who cannot contemplate and reflect, they are yet to absorb and digest and assimilate the knowledge that we covered before. Then it is a good idea to have an image. Any image, maybe of Shiva or your own image. Just meditate on your shape and the size and the image. So that also helps us to reach to Samadhana. Understand that clear with clarity. Samadhanam, pick up the solution. When the mind is carried away by the impressions from the past in relationship to the objects of the world, the moment you are aware in the first stage, you feel, oh, it's very good. Let my mind move there. I will have a pleasure. Want, passion, through discernment, through dispassion. Mind, don't get excited. Every excitement resulted in frustration. We have an American term. Are you excited? No, I'm not excited. You see, there's a very, very normal. Hey, are you excited to meet me? On the LinkedIn, the guy told me that I will show you the path to become an influencer. I said, no, I'm a humble seeker. I don't want to be an influencer. Do you have anything to say? No, then you are not the right prospect. I said, thank you. Definitely, I'm not the right prospect. Now, with due respect, Bill Gates is the highest influencer. After that, I will not say anything. We are not interested in that. You continue your journey, you will be rewarded much more than you expect. It is not a reward that you guys are listening to me and girls are listening to me with all of you. Is it not? It takes time. So remember this. That is what the Samadhanam is. Samadhanam, we forget sometime. No worries. Remember it again by discernment and dispassion. Follow all the 5 previous treasures and return to the state of being a seeker. Now, Samadhanam, we discussed that it also means highest state of meditation. Why they say it? Because it solves all the riddles of my life that causes the suffering, anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict. So that reference, the 6th treasure. Samadhanam also means a deeper meditative state. Your discernment is, if I say, for example, is 50%, followed by 100% dispassion, even 50% of all the 5 treasures, you live in meditation. And if someone asks you how long you meditate, you can give a reply, yes, I meditate for an hour or two, sometime 20 minutes. But you are aware that you are living into that state of meditation 24/7. Why? Because now you are living into the higher state of consciousness. Where you experience it in the mind. So mind gives you the knowledge, so you have that knowledge of awareness. Just see that we have yet to cover 8 or 12 topics to continue the journey, but still, as a seeker, I am calm, I am relaxed, I'm not getting carried away by any riddles of life in the world outside. I have money or I don't have. So I don't have it. So let me find a solution and do some activity, do some work. How simple it is. No, I don't have. That is why I'm suffering. And you keep lying on the bed. Lazy. If I don't work, but that work is karma yoga. Remember this. I'm linking this. It's very important. Because I'm a seeker, so I link that work as a karma yoga. So I focus on the action Work not on the ego part, I am the doer and the enjoyer, and the reward will bound to come sooner or later. Sooner or later. This is what covers the six treasures. So we said fourfold practices. The first is discernment, second is dispassion, third comes six treasures, and now the under the third we have six treasures, and the fourth one is known as mumukshu, desire for freedom. So once we follow all the three steps, there is a natural inclination and a desire for freedom from the suffering all the time, 24 by 7. That person is known as the real seeker, mumukshu. Mumukshu Kim. I have an intense desire to bring an end to the suffering. When you wake up in the morning and your honey says you something, in the past you used to get upset, but now you have a smile on the face. One example. You had some fear in the past because you have done first three set of practices. You wake up in the morning and the mind returns to the same fear and you smile. I know the solution. Come on. See that? That is mumukshu. Mumukshu means that mukshu, moksha, mukti. It comes from, so I become a person who is naturally focused, desire for freedom to bring an end to the suffering. Intense desire means that I am constantly aware in day-to-day life. What will happen? It will bring a tremendous change in your behavior, in your attitude, in your response. You will feel as if you are just playing your role in the world. Intense desire for freedom from the mind, one question. Mind says, when I would become free from the suffering. One question, how to become free from the suffering. One question, what is preventing me not to find my real nature? You are moved by it. Seeker is an internal influencer to the mind. We don't want to be an influencer, 50 million followers or so. It will come on its own. If it comes, accept. If it doesn't come, you are living your life. You are living your life in peace. So think of this. I will summarize in few sessions in totally a different way in the coming weeks so that you know how to apply these principles into your daily life. Now the time is for practice. Let us start our practice now.